So, have you guys seen the Johnny Depp trial on Netflix?
No.
So they go through like every day and all that stuff, and then they go deeper in, and Johnny Depp's talking about the incident where she finally shit the bed and all that stuff. And he said that he had caught her talking to her friends in a car, and the code word for this shit was leaving a grumpy. And he said,
"Can I get that on a t-shirt?"
Yeah, I left a grumpy.
If you're a geek, have a listen. We got the news. This week's edition. We're talking movies, games, TV, and comics. Turn it up, Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks pod. Feel the Geeks. You're listening to the Feel the Geeks podcast.
Hello and welcome to Field of Geeks episode 213. I'm Josh.
I'm Mitch.
I'm Jonah.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Good? Now we
Good.
got the camera working.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, GoPro.
You got like a first gen GoPro?
No, actually, it's a Hero 8, I think.
Oh, geez, okay.
Yeah.
the sponsor of today's show.
Yeah. Send
we
me a
moved-
new one.
Have we moved away from Jack Link Little Chub?
Yeah, probably. After the lawsuit, you know.
Yeah,
had to,
well, you know.
But, yeah.
The C&D letters.
Right.
Stop mentioning us on your podcast.
Yes, for the love of God. Or, blur it out, whatever. So, yeah, another week, another comic book movie that flopped. Madam Web. Did you guys go see this gem
Nope.
of a film? No. Were you interested? I think we did talk
Initially,
last time.
I was, when the first trailer came out, I was initially interested.
Yeah.
But then when word of mouth started making the rounds, it killed the interest very quickly.
Yeah, I was almost there, and then I was just like, it's not going to do well, they say, and you shouldn't depend on that, or what the critics are saying. But yeah, from all accounts, it's not worth going, and it's a lot of people have said it's like a throwback to early aughts films, Marvel films before, like they weren't quite, there yet, with their storytelling. It was just kind of like, they didn't go full into what Marvel eventually did with like Iron Man and so on.
It's almost like Sony has no idea what to do with any of these licenses that they're holding on to.
Right.
I'm still holding out hope for that Kraven's going to be good.
Yeah.
Because as I've said many times, even on the shows, I'm an Aaron Taylor Johnson, he is my heterosexual man crush. And so I'm holding out hope that that's going to be good.
Right. Yeah, it's like the Sony ones are just like, they're not de-evolving because I guess they never evolved. Like, Marvel took things over and then they were like, well, we got the Spider-Man property and some of, the catalog of Spider-Man related characters. Like, let's make some money ourselves. Yeah. And it's like, they just don't quite have the talent.
No.
Of course, these days, Marvel doesn't really either, it seems. So,
yeah. Well, and they get a little bit of success with something like Venom. And so they're like, oh, we can do this with everything.
Right.
And then
which was kind of a fluke. I mean, I didn't love Venom. I think Hardy sold the film, but it was a mess and it still made a lot of money. It was kind of like one of those, like, I don't understand how this is so successful. I think it made about $800 million.
And then Morbius was terrible.
Yeah. And I was kind of getting excited for that. And of course, that was, I think during COVID, it probably was tinkered with too much.
Yeah.
There's characters that don't make sense, like Tyrese is in it, and they just show up, but they don't really contribute. I don't really remember the film. I saw it on Netflix when it finally came out. So,
You didn't like the line, it's Morbin time?
Was that really a line?
Say that?
You could fool me. I don't know.
No, it fooled
not
people
memorable.
enough,
It's just,
though, to make them re-release into theaters to get more money, and it flopped even harder.
Yeah, yeah.
They're doing the same thing right now to Madam Web.
Yeah.
They're pushing it through theaters again?
No. Somebody made a quote that isn't in the movie.
Oh,
to garner,
I saw that.
There's a lot of things in the trailer that aren't in the movie. And spoilers, do you guys care? Does anyone out there care?
No, you're fine.
When you see the Spider Women fighting, that's basically a dream sequence, and it's not very long at all. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like something like it's weebin time or something like that, and then they weeb all over each other. Yeah.
Well, and they were going to put Andrew.
If this is a movie about these girls weeping on each other,
Mitch is making it more interesting than it really is. Maybe they should have consulted with him.
First
Go
off,
for broke.
Madam Web is in this 50 Shades of Grey stuff.
I think it's a different character.
No, I know it's a different character, but I'm just saying, like, think about it for a second, though. Because wasn't a guy actually arrested and pulled out of the movie?
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yes, now, we have a masturbator over Sydney Sweeney. So
yeah, cranking his hog.
That's
in the
probably
movie.
the biggest publicity they've gotten since this film's been out. So
he weebed all over him.
Yeah.
But again, that's even more reason to just watch it at home.
He didn't quit it. Huh? Yeah.
So
it's like Spice Girls.
Well, for him, in his jail cell if he's still there. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sad. That's like the most interesting thing. But, actually, I haven't been able to confirm if that was real or just kind of a fabrication. Stunt. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to go see it, but...
Names, proof.
Yeah?
I said I want names, proof.
Yeah.
Jack me off.
Jack Mayer offer?
Yeah, remember? Officer me off? Jack me off? Black Sheep. If anyone remembers that.
No one remembers that movie.
So I guess we'll wait till Netflix to see this gem of a film.
No, I'm not even going to watch that.
If Craven bombs, and that's the problem is they could panic and maybe Craven's good and they're going to like fuck with it more and make it worse so it will bomb.
Yeah, I don't know. Did they do any screen tests for Madam Web before they put it out?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Screen tests I've heard are good and I've heard they're bad. And, they basically, the audience they use.
It's
not the right audience for it.
Too, when like studios are just dumping their shit into the theaters.
Right.
And I know it didn't help that the strike kind of held, pushed things back quite a bit. But this time of year is when like the stuff that's been sitting around for years.
Well, a strike can be... A strike can be good on multiple levels, or it can be bad. I heard that they did a lot of retooling of what is that? Captain America.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. There is a Marvel retooling article I did read, but yeah, that definitely did happen. I think that's like you said, the Hollywood strike. A lot good came out of it, not just deals and such, but. Yeah, it's like everyone kind of needed a reset, I think. A creative reset, if you will. Because, the way Marvel is going, it's just not... It's not the same anymore.
It was becoming very James Bondy, where they were like over the top, the Pierce Brosnan era.
Oh, really? I liked his era.
There's nothing wrong with it.
It's more Roger Moore, you'd probably were thinking, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they just... they
as far as over the top?
Yeah.
Dude, Pierce Brosnan was way over the top. You got Denise Richards playing Merry Christmas, a nuclear physicist.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more over the top than that.
No, the most over the top was his last Bond. Before that was kind of like,
was that was starting to get away. Halle Berry?
Yeah.
GoldenEye was really...
GoldenEye's awesome.
GoldenEye was great.
They should have stopped at GoldenEye.
He had the game, he had everything. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's just... Marvel's just getting cookie cutter and...
Rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
We're falling down right now.
Exactly. Well, it's an icebreaker, so... Quick news, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Of course, that's another bomb. Well, actually, it did not make as much as the first one, but it has made steady profit for Warner Brothers. It actually has brought in $433.5 million at a budget of $205 to $215. So they usually use that same amount for marketing. So
it's about broken even at this point.
Pretty much, yeah. Definitely not the billion as the first one pulled in, but yeah, I guess overseas it's been pretty successful. I did not see this in the theater. Kind of had some urges to, but then saw clips and I was like, it just doesn't look as on par as the first one. So I was like, yeah, I'll just wait. So yeah, it was the first, that and the Marvels are the first films for both cinematic universes or whatever that I did not see in the theater. So
and I'll watch Aquaman when it's on Max or whatever.
Yep, it's coming out Tuesday. So
nice.
And like
HBO
I said
Max,
before, I'm gonna watch it just for Black Manta because
it's got some great visuals.
I love that character.
And
I told Josh before we even started recording is like from like comic book image to screen adaptation of a like costumed character. I think Mana is the best.
Yeah.
I think it's done the best.
There's some great visuals, and you could kind of say some from Madam Web. There was some cool visuals, but that's it for that. I'm sure Aquaman's a lot better film. We'll see, right? This Tuesday.
Well, I'm sure the visuals are going to be like the first Aquaman, which that was like very comic booky in terms of like the splash pages, visuals.
Right.
You're probably going to get a lot of that, but that's one of the problems I heard too with the second one. Again, not having seen it, this is just speculation on my part. Is that it looks, even from the trailer, like a rehash of the first movie. It doesn't look like there's a lot of new plot beats.
No.
Or threads, or really any plot for that matter.
Yeah. Kind of breaks down the importance of his character, sort of. I don't know. It's just, I like Jason Momoa, but I just never saw him as Aquaman. I like the classic look for Aquaman, you know, and he's just
the Aryan Aquaman.
I guess I don't know the character, but I'm just talking about the look.
Blue eyes.
Yeah. I mean, even later on when he loses his arm and has a hook, that's kind of badass. But he's just too himself, and he's a great Lobo. They've talked about that for years.
That would be a good one.
That was a missed opportunity there. Yeah, or maybe they'll still do it within the James Gunn world, but
it's possible. But yeah, I think when he actually sat down with Snyder, I think he thought he was there for Lobo, and he said Aquaman. He was just kind of like shocked by that.
He should have been like, no, Lobo.
Yeah.
Change it now.
Lobo would have been a lot better.
We have a new Karate Kid, guys. So this is very exciting. And of course, we never covered this. It was Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan back in November announced they're making a Karate Kid film. And they were casting for the new Karate Kid. And so they're bringing both worlds together, which is why
the Cobra Kai series world and the movie world, or what do you mean?
Well, the Karate Kid world, because
Jackie Chan played the Obi-Wan Kenobi to Jaden Smith's Karate Kid.
Yeah, right. But he was not Miyagi; he was Mr. Han. So they were basically could coexist.
Did I say Obi-Wan Kenobi? I meant Miyagi.
Yeah, I was like,
in a way, he was though. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, really, it was some serious acting for Chan. I remember seeing that. I did like that film. I'm not sure if Jaden Smith will be involved, but yeah, they're both going to be together. Of course, Chan's from the 2010 version of the Karate Kid, and then of Ralph Macchio, the whole trilogy, and the
will they get Elizabeth Shue back in?
Well, they've already done it in a series. I don't know. That's the beauty of the series. They don't really have to go for all those. We'll bring them back, you know, because they've kind of been able to craft that casually and do that.
Did they bring Elizabeth Shue in the series?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I've never seen the series.
I haven't either, but I remember hearing about it.
I'm not the stalwart Karate Kid fan that a lot of you guys are.
But see, I think Cobra Kai takes you in at a certain angle. Like, even if you're not a big Karate Kid fan, you can kind of root for, you know, Johnny Lawrence and his philosophy.
I always thought Johnny was the misunderstood hero of the film.
Right. Well, you should see Cobra Kai, at least the first episode, because it's really cool. It picks up where he's at in life, and Daniel LaRusso is kind of like on top, you know, and it was done well, I think. And it kind of brought maybe, I don't know, realism to the franchise, but just kind of like didn't make him such a black and white character, I guess you could say. So yeah, they've casted Ben Wang, and such an immature asshole.
Child.
Wang. Sorry. When Joey first announced, he's talking about Lawrence Pugh. He couldn't get over the Pugh, and now she's like this big actress. You probably still laugh.
Oh, Florence Pugh?
Yeah.
Oh man, she's pretty.
Right, but would you still laugh at her last name though? They got to prove something to you first, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So Wang will prove to you.
Wang,
something.
yes.
Yeah.
You got to be quick.
We won't put you on the red carpet with him anytime soon.
Yeah. Don't underestimate Wang.
I never have. Just mine.
Soundbite. Anyway, so this is due out December, guys. So I don't know.
How old is Jackie Chan now?
Oh, he's probably 70s.
70s, I think.
Easily.
Yeah. He's got to at least be 70s.
Yeah.
Ralph Macchio's a freaking grandfather.
What?
He's 60.
Danielson?
Yeah.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan's like a beast of a man, though, because he did his own stunts, and then he basically said, my kids will not reap the benefits of all my money.
Yeah.
And like wrote him out of the will and said they have to be successful on their own.
And there's one story about one of his sons is gay and he's disowned. So it's like, ugh. But he's still making movies, guys. We got another Karate Kid coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it's true or whatnot, but yeah, he's very strict father. Yeah. One's done drugs and he's like cut off. So
I think there's that propensity, though, like you got money, so you think you're kind of invincible, or you don't take life as seriously.
Right.
And I get where he's coming from, because I mean, he had that whole film over in Japan, or you know, you got a blood, sweat, and tears to get in.
Yeah,
but that's on him though. If he chose to raise his kids kind of like that, I'll give you everything you want. You know, it's like, well, of course you're going to raise someone who takes everything for granted. It's like, you know, what do they call those? Nepo babies or whatever the fuck now. Every Hollywood child who's become an actor. Or
is a nepo baby.
Yeah, I think that's what they called him. Yeah,
I think some of them are actually good. I
Colin Hanks.
Oh no, I think there are a lot are good.
Yeah. I'm a big Wyatt Russell fan.
Yeah. I haven't
and
seen
then Ron Howard's daughter.
Yeah, good director too.
Good.
Yeah. Star Wars has proven she can direct, so that's great. Superman Legacy guys has started filming. They've met for the table read, and they threw out their cast photo on one of the lots. So Nicholas Holtz, Nicholas Holt, not Stoltz. He's way old for Lex Luthor. Anyway, he's got his head shaved, so
neat
because he's playing Luthor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I think it's a good cast. Everyone cast is pretty. I think it's a good choice.
I think he's great casting for Lex Luthor.
I do too. Jesse Eisenberg was
a miss. I didn't even.
I get what they were. I
didn't like Spacey.
I know.
I didn't even.
Oh right, yeah.
Hackman was a little over the top.
Right, they never really, I guess, did him right.
Michael Rosenbaum's always been my favorite Lex Luthor.
Right. Yeah.
They need an evil guy though, and they've only been able to do that truly in the cartoons. It seems like.
Well, we've gotten in the films. We've gotten too much Lex Luthor, or I mean, Snyder did push more, but we had Zod again. But them kicking ass like they did was kind of cool and refreshing, you know.
Even Kevin Spacey, as amazing of an actor he is, that was a dud choice for the role.
The whole movie was a dud.
Yeah.
I feel bad because that was like Brandon Routh's like.
Yeah, his chance. Yeah, I don't think he was terrible.
It wasn't his fault. I think it was just a bad movie script and a bad director.
Yeah. It was so much of it.
He got redeemed though when he played. Was it the Atom in the CW?
Yeah.
Yep. And he eventually got to go back to Superman as a different version, I think, or maybe the same version. But so he's gotten to play with that. So you know, at least he got another shot at it in another costume, which is he played like the Kingdom Come Superman. So it was really cool. But yeah, this looks good. The Kingdom Come symbol has been teased on like their name tags at the table read. So the people are like, is that the new symbol? Because, you know, I mean, I think it's great. I think we need something maybe a little new. We've kind of seen the Snyder one was cool too. I liked how it had the, you know, alien design to it, you know. But yeah, we'll see what the symbol's going to look like. But yeah, I'm sure. I don't know if you'll have underwear.
Oh, the underwear over the suit.
Right. They just need to put more red in that midsection. If you're gonna lose the trunks or the boxers or whatever, put it on the belt or something. I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It's a design.
More codpiece, please.
Yeah. Make them big. So yeah, we'll move into trailers. First trailer, Borderlands. This is based off a successful video game franchise.
Never played it.
I haven't either.
Me either.
I'm aware of it. Some of the looks of the characters.
The characters look like the game.
Yeah, they're spot on with the game.
Yeah, they don't shy away. So I like they're just, you know, we talked about how Eli Roth has directed this, and it doesn't look like an Eli Roth film. And you pointed out that Tim Miller.
So Eli Roth directed it, and again, this goes back to like 2021, I think.
Yeah,
they wrapped it up kind of towards the end of 2021. Oh, wow. And then they decided to do reshoots, but Eli Roth was doing Thanksgiving. So they brought in Tim Miller with Eli Roth's blessing. They brought in Tim Miller, who did like Deadpool.
Yep.
To do the reshoots. Those are two things that make me nervous about a movie. One is when it's been filmed that long ago and we haven't really seen anything about it. And then two is like I don't know how extensive the reshoots were.
Well, and maybe they were just for the action sequences.
I don't know.
Tim Miller's got his hands in a visual effects company, doesn't he? And that's why they were able to keep Deadpool's budget so low.
That does sound familiar.
Yeah. I remember them saying that they had a hell of a time trying to get Deadpool 1 started, and then Tim Miller came in to direct, and instead of like, you know, taking a pay cut or whatever, he just did all the work.
Right.
On Deadpool through his company.
Very low budget. I think it was $90 million, if I remember correctly, for that.
See, I thought it was less than that. I thought maybe it was like 50.
Maybe, but
But in nowadays money, that's like not a lot.
Well,
indie film money.
Unrelated. Yeah. Well, the Joker, the new Joker film, supposedly that's gone up to like $200 million, which is nuts because the first one was made for 50, I think.
Yeah.
And it made $1 billion, but they say it's probably because of the casting. They, you know, they got bigger names.
Yeah, when you have Lady Gaga.
Yeah, well, it's probably going to be a one and done for the second one. I mean, they're taking a chance. It sounds like it's going to be a musical. I don't know. I I guess that's the only place you could go from the first one. You know, I don't know.
Would have been better to have Taylor Swift in there.
I think she would have been a much better.
I think we're getting her in
Yeah.
Deadpool 3, which we will talk about that shortly here. But yeah, you know, Eli Roth, he did Thanksgiving. That's actually on Netflix now. Have you seen Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I saw it.
You liked it, right?
I liked it.
Yeah,
Fun.
I liked it. You should check it out. It's gory. It's not really scary.
It's a solid, slasher film.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
But I do see some of his artistry in the Borderlands trailer that he used in the unless Tim Miller shot this too for a little bit. The House with the Clock in the Wall, I think it was called. Jack Black was in that, as well as Cate Blanchett. It's a kids movie.
Is that's an Eli Roth movie?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, and it's actually not bad. It's dark,
I
but
think I own it, but I've never seen it.
it's not bad. I like it. It's very, it's darker family film, but it's still in that genre. So some of the imagery is like, holy shit. I wonder how many kids are like sleeping in their parents' room if they can, like I can't.
I'm sure Borderlands is going to be one of those that like my son's going to want to drag me to. I don't even know if he's even played the game.
Yeah. Right.
But
well,
he'll probably want to drag me to it, or we'll go see it at some point.
I'm not the biggest comic book guy, but I mean, I love comic books. I haven't read so many of them, but how I was introduced to these characters in the early aughts was through the films, and then I was intrigued, and so I'd seek out like their whole history and learn from that. So it'd probably be the same for the Borderlands. It's like,
well, and one thing I mentioned
first.
before we started recording that with like the humor in the film, they're trying to tap into that Dungeons and Dragons. Honor Among Thieves movie.
Guardians a little bit too. Mitch. I see that
Heavy
too.
Guardians.
Yeah.
Kind of the same type of thing.
Dungeons could have been tapped into that
I think,
too.
Yeah, Dungeons was probably tapping into that. And so that's...
I mean, it looks like a good cast. I hope it's good. It actually does look fun, and I'm not sure what the budget is, but we've had 6 of these games, I guess, since 09, and
I didn't realize that.
Gearbox was the studio who put them out, and they've been both critically and commercially successful. So. Yeah, this comes out August 9th. So good film for August, as long as it keeps it up. So
August 9th?
Yeah, August 9th.
Huh.
Excellent.
I know, yeah.
They need to make a Fallout movie.
They're making a series, aren't they? I believe. Isn't Netflix making a series on that?
There is a Fallout.
Didn't research, so I don't know. Yeah, there is. There is something coming.
I'm trying to think what video game property I'd love a movie of.
I could see Metal Gear Solid turning out really well.
They're working on that.
Metal Gear Solid would be pretty good.
They've got what's his face attached to it. He played Moon Knight. Escapes me right now.
Oscar Isaacs.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't see it.
I don't see it either, but I mean, it's not the worst choice. I don't think.
Solid Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Wyatt Russell, get him.
I think Wyatt Russell.
Because Kurt Russell could do it, but he's
awesome.
just too damn old. Yeah. Yeah. Extreme Games. He do that movie.
California Games.
Do you remember Extreme Games though? ESPN Extreme Games. It came out in PlayStation 1, and
I don't think
you could kick your opponents on a bike, and the sound effects were just amazing. It was so funny.
Does this fall in the same line as like the Gran Turismo movie?
What the ESPN? Oh, you mean like how to make it a film?
No, like didn't they make a Gran
Based
Turismo?
on a true story. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And I got
Netflix.
I freaking love that movie.
Do
Is
you?
it good?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to check that out.
I've seen it like 5 times.
I watched the wrong one. I watched the Clint Eastwood
because I never saw it in the
They're very
theater,
different.
so we bought it and watched it. And I was like, that movie was really good. And like I think the first time I was like, my wife had fallen asleep, so then I rewatched it and then just watched it a few more times. I mean, I really enjoyed that.
It's the only way you could probably do a racing film, because it's based off a true story. Like the idea was they take these gamers, so it's kind of like set in this world, and then
the real life guy did a lot of the stunt driving.
Oh, cool.
In the movie. And I really enjoyed it. You should watch it.
It's like a marketing thing. Like, we could really get people interested in racing if we get these gamers in there and stuff. But yeah,
it's definitely worth a watch.
Twisters. This, a lot of these trailers came out Super Bowl time. Were you guys fans of the original Twister?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you laugh at it after time? I mean, when it first came out, I was like, this is science.
I don't laugh at it. I still watch it all the time.
Some of it's hokey, but
I watch it at least once a year.
I still like it.
It's a good summertime movie. Yeah. We'll throw it up, on the outside movie screen.
It was definitely a marketing a marketing movie of its time. I mean, look at how many different things were in it that were like the brand new Dodge. That was the first year that they released.
And the minivans were introduced the same year. The new body style.
That black minivan.
The evil storm chasing team. Yeah.
And then, of course, they had Shania Twain on there. That was like her breakout album. And then they had like Coke and, it was a marketing genius movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. And what were your thoughts on this new trailer for Twisters?
So I thought it was going to be a sequel. Mm-hmm. Or I was hoping it would be a sequel.
Still could, I guess.
You could easily be, it's like, hey, this is, their son or whatever.
Yeah.
There's no indication of that in the trailer. No. It looks more like a straight remake, which is a little disappointing to me.
But different characters. Yeah.
But, different characters.
Oh, the multiverse of Twister.
But it works. The old Twister worked because of the time that they made it. Like the technology made sense, right?
Yeah.
And now they're going back to Dorothy again, where like our technology is far advanced.
Like drones, you could just, unless it's a period piece. But no, they had newer cars.
There's a drone in. I mean,
there's a drone in there.
Right. So yeah.
And then they use what is it? Pothole or like diggers, hole diggers to.
It does look like look like those
At least they're like trying though to like ground it in some reality.
They have 4 post hole diggers that's supposed to hold down a truck going into a tornado, so it's going to be as hokey as the first one.
You pretty much need to lay concrete, right, and then maybe chain that.
I mean,
to your truck.
That or those drills would have to be like fucking 6 feet long,
right? Because there's no, I mean, that's a
heavy haul.
That's like a 4-inch post hole digger.
Yeah.
For a truck, that weighs I don't know how much.
Yeah,
but
that's probably a half ton, right? It's a 1,500.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, in the Midwest, we all know this is a joke, but I bet you those over in like California, are like, that might work. God, that's just brilliant mastery.
I'm looking forward to seeing it though.
Yeah, I'll probably see it. I don't know. I hope for something a little different if they weren't going to be a sequel, but they on IMDb the synopsis states it's an update to the 96 film.
But it's one of those movies that didn't need updated.
No.
Or even remade for that.
No.
Movie. Like it still holds up.
You could have just done a whole
effects wise, it still holds up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like casting wise, character wise.
Maybe not the cow, but
I think the cow even looked good.
There's going to need to be some like throwback to some of the phrasing.
Does it need a Lucas treatment, the original Twister?
Yeah. Like if we see Howard the Duck go into one of those Twisters, that would be okay.
It just looks too familiar to me. It's like if you're coming back after all this time, just give us something a little different. Like how
up the ante.
Well, Storm Chasers now have those cool cars they've actually built, and they can like drive very. It's like, where's that shit?
Well, it looks like they updated. I mean, they've got a new Ram in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
after the red one gets fucked up, there's like a white one.
Yeah, I mean, we need.
Will it have continuity flaws like the first one did too? Because it wasn't like an extended cab, and then it was not, and then the windshield was damaged, then it was fine.
Probably.
I remember in science class we picked the shit out of this movie, picked it apart, and you might have done the same. We were both at the same high school. Do you remember that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
I guess it depends on the science teacher.
Yeah,
we.
Yeah,
and I was totally like Twister's the shit, and then we watch it in class and it's just getting torn apart, and I'm
so used to seeing that in movies though, like those kinds of like continuity. It doesn't even like phase me.
I know. Well,
it's got to be pretty glaring for me to be like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I think anymore it's like, I mean, we all get how hard it is to make a film, and to keep, because you actually have someone that keeps track of that supposedly. Like a lot of the problems usually is glasses. In one scene they're on, another scene they're off.
Yeah,
shirts are wet, shirts are dry.
Yeah.
The food ones always get me, like when they're like a half-eaten hamburger and then you go back and it's like full again.
Takes the same bite over and over again.
Or the placement of the hand, like he's putting down the cup and now he's like and he's putting it down again. Yeah.
And it's not as full, or it is full and then it's not. Yeah. Like some of that shit. Hubcaps, that's one thing too on cars. Watches.
I know it's like really small stuff to pick apart, but it's just like once you notice it, it's going to drive you nuts.
Right.
I think a few things are like, okay, we'll let it go. But if it's like, holy shit, they had nobody on this job to watch out for props. Like,
good, and that could have been.
Katie Holmes talks out of the side of her mouth in one scene, she doesn't in the other.
There's some of those. I mean, it could have been like, and I don't know, like like Jan de Bont directed the first one.
Yeah.
Who also directed Speed.
Yes.
And then he was like the cinematographer on Die Hard.
Yes.
And so I think Speed may have been his first directorial movie, and Twister was his second.
I think
if I'm
so.
not mistaken.
Yeah. He did Psycho remake too, didn't he? Was that him?
He might have. I don't know.
I don't know.
The one with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, it was like
that
shot
with
for shot
Anne Heche?
remake. Yeah, shot for shot remake.
But I wonder if he's like one of those directors who was like, no one will care. You know, he's like an Ed Wood type. He's like, yeah, fuck it.
Make love to the Twister. We've got cows. God damn it.
Debris.
Yeah.
No one will give a shit about the windshield. I don't know if he even sounds like that. That's
Bill Paxton's like, we gotta address this, right? No one gives a shit.
I assume he sounds like that.
He's counting his money. Yeah, he's French, so
oh, maybe
we got it.
Bill Paxton comes back from the dead in this movie. Why is that are those the bones of Bill Paxton?
Or just cast Bill Pullman because they got confused for each other all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I always thought that Christian Slater looked closer to Bill Pullman or Bill Paxton.
Well, shit, bring him in. I don't know.
He can be two people.
bring in.
He's a little shorter.
Bring in Bill Pullman's son to play to act with the other guy from Top Gun. It'd be like a Top Gun reunion.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, he was in Top Gun, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And who are they casting him as? We just saw this not too long ago.
It's for Thunderbolts.
Yeah. The Sentry.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't remember. Good on that. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, getting back to Top Gun related. Glenn Powell is in this one, playing some kind of cowboy renegade.
His little tiny mouth.
Yeah. Side mouth. Anthony Ramos. He's been in that latest Transformer movie, Jonah loved. I think you did like that, didn't you?
I wouldn't say loved. I watched it.
You liked it. You could
and
stomach
I enjoyed it more so than
right.
any of the last few things from Michael Bay.
Right.
Transformers wise. So.
Right. And then Kiernan Shipka. She was in Totally Killer, which was really a good movie. It was Amazon Prime.
I think I saw that.
It's like a time traveling.
Yeah, I did see that.
I thought it was good. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'll probably go see it, But yeah, it's got a lot of the same visuals, and even the font is the same. So again, it's kind of like Ghostbusters 2016 to me. It's like, why?
They put an S on it though.
Yeah, thank God, right?
Yeah. Otherwise,
why?
I'd be really
why
confused.
bother? You know what I mean? If you're gonna remake it, just
because they've got twins.
That's right.
They did in the first one. Don't you remember that?
No, maybe.
Yeah. Check that tape.
Call it Twister Part 2.
Part 2.
Like Hot Shots.
Yeah.
Part 2. That'd be a nice.
It's never been attempted since.
Charlie Sheen comes in, tries to use a bow and arrow with a chicken, shoots it straight into the tornado.
Is it too late for Hot Shots 3?
No.
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I'm surprised we never got one.
As long as Charlie Sheen's alive.
Well, he's been through it all, so he could.
Can he gain that muscle mass though? Probably not.
Does he need to?
Though.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe he's out.
He could be the president.
Yeah.
He could be what's his face character? The Lloyd Bridges. He could be Lloyd Bridges, kind of just a. Because in real life he's kind of out there, right? So he could just be a president that's like lost his shit, and maybe his son takes over. I'm sure people are just dying to see this, but
Saddam Hussein comes back. I can't go anywhere. They've tied my shoelaces together.
Bastards.
Mr. Bean makes an appearance.
Yeah.
Like as you're talking about that, all I
wanna
can
see
picture in
this
my head
again.
is Leslie Nielsen beating the shit out of him in The Naked Gun.
Oh yeah.
The opening sequence to The Naked Gun.
What was it? The scary movie? Aliens could be anywhere. And then this guy comes over. He's got like the neck hole microphone.
Yeah.
There's one right there.
That was Scary Movie 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know. He made a few of those. Marvel related, and then we're going to definitely talk trailers Marvel related here. But yeah, there was this article that came out about basically they're retooling a lot. They've had a lot of lows recently. We know this. Ant-Man 3, the Marvels, and then of course the Disney Plus shows have all kind of stalled.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Marvels.
It's on Disney Plus now. It's basically a movie you turn your mind off. That's what it is.
So like Ant-Man Quantumania was one of those where I turned it on and then like immediately went on to do something else and stopped paying attention to it.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you.
It's got a very memorable line in it though. I am not a dick, as he kills somebody.
Yeah, what a nice pep talk. She got him to turn,
Don't
like
be
that.
a dick.
Yeah, okay.
And then he says, okay.
Yeah.
Like, they really did that character disjustice.
Right.
Like, he was supposed to be like this big badass of a guy, and
no, it's what was his character's name again? A big head.
Oh,
no,
who?
MODOK.
MODOK.
Yeah.
MODOK.
Yeah.
I am not a dick.
I didn't mind them retconning that, but it just definitely the special effects hurt. You know.
See, this is how I was not paying. I didn't even know MODOK was in the movie.
Oh my
That's
god!
Wow.
That's how much attention I was.
Did you go out and like
Wow.
mow the lawn? And well, I guess it's winter, so you didn't do that.
Michael missed a really good opportunity though for that one guy to do like a 30-second take on all the movies up till
I know
like Endgame.
Yeah,
that would have been ideal. And apparently they did actually film it.
Well, damn, they should have put that in.
Right?
I would have loved to have seen that, but yeah. So yeah, of course now you got the Kang problem. He's out because Jonathan Majors and all that.
The next Avengers.
That's
movie.
what they're saying. But
well, and I
don't
think
know.
that's probably good though. While Jonathan Majors was good, he wasn't strong. Like, you didn't really feel like he was a bad guy.
He wasn't Thanos level, but
No.
maybe I guess he was never.
He was never
supposed to, really, right?
I mean, he was more of a bad guy in Quantumania, but then you saw him in like the second season of Loki, and he wasn't even really a bad guy.
That was his first introduction. Yeah. He was because he was a variant. He wasn't the Kang or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
He was just kind of like more of like the hapless.
Right.
But the way that they wrote him off, I mean,
scientist.
in the end of Loki 2, where they're just finding the variants.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me seems like they already knew that he was going to be gone.
Yeah.
And that they wrote him off.
I think they were planning for that contingency.
Some of their reasoning is the poor box office of Ant-Man 3, which, but I think the domestic abuse charges are definitely out there for the reason. But again, if he has variants, like, you could have easily recasted. So I think they probably were going to give up on the character anyway because it was losing its oh shit. Because Thanos is like, how are you going to take that guy on, And Kang's just kind of like...
Well, and Thanos always had, like, small parts.
Right.
Like, in every little movie, you get a
right.
blurb, okay, I'm going to have to do this myself, and he takes out the gauntlet glove, so...
Right.
I think what they should do, if they want to ever revisit the character, what they should do is go back to... I don't know if you guys ever read, like, Young Avengers. It had a character in it called Iron Lad.
Oh.
Who was basically a teenage Kang.
Oh.
And but he was like a good guy.
Oh, okay.
But he could easily go one way or the other.
Right.
But I think that there's a way that you could reintroduce the character if they ever wanted to. I have a feeling they're probably going to want to just head in a new direction.
Yeah.
And move away from it altogether at this point.
Yeah.
And I really think the audience will be okay with that. I don't think there's anyone. I was a little irritated at first, and I was like, oh, no Kang? But even then I'm like, why do I give it? I'm not a huge Kang fan.
Kang didn't feel like... But he didn't feel like that much of a bad guy in any of the Lokis. I mean, and then he became this goofy
scary.
like 1800s guy where he stuttered and fell all over himself. Yeah, it just didn't feel like...
Right. So Kevin Feige and company, of course, they're refining their plan internally, and they're not scrapping it. So Kang might have some, stuff in...
Recast Kang as the guy who played in Spawn. That guy seemed evil.
Jai White? No.
Michael Jai Wright.
Michael
Jai.
That guy seems legit.
Well, gosh, he should do something. I mean, he saw him in Dark Knight, and I was like, I think we could see more of this guy. What's going on? I mean, he's done some direct-to-video or direct-to-streaming, I guess you could say. Oh, he did do Black Dynamite. That was kind of a cult success.
You could even recast him as that guy from the Star Wars movies.
John Boyega?
Yeah.
Well,
See,
I mean,
and the reason I say that is because when I was watching Loki, I was like, oh, that's the guy from the Star Wars movies. It wasn't like Google, like 3 episodes later, I Googled it and I was like, oh, no, it's not. It's a different guy altogether.
It's extremely rare for a guy to be more badass off screen than badass on screen.
Yeah.
And he pulled it off beautifully.
Yeah, and destroyed his career in the process.
I mean, look at Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
Which actually, I watched a movie with him last night called
The Flash.
There's Something Wrong with Kevin.
Yeah, that's supposed to be pretty good.
Fucked up.
Really?
Yeah.
It's good.
That's what kind of catapulted him into the limelight, I think, that movie.
But after knowing him as a person, I was like, oh, he's not even acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't.
Just a goofy dude.
Well, it's like Jason Momoa, the Aquaman 2. I follow him on Instagram, and Aquaman's riding a bike like he does. He's dressing like he does. And it's like, dude, are you even acting? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The guy's a Hawaiian persona of Johnny Depp. I mean,
Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Well, which when they said he was dressing like Depp, Amber Heard was saying that. It's like, are you sure? He just wasn't maybe just dressing the way he likes to dress? Like, I don't know.
Did that turn her on or turn her off?
Off. She thought he was purposely doing that.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
Is she shit in his bed?
I don't know.
So, have you guys seen the Johnny Depp trial on Netflix?
No.
So they go through like every day and all that stuff, and then they go deeper in, and Johnny Depp's talking about the incident where she finally shit the bed and all that stuff. And he said that he had caught her talking to her friends in a car, and the code word for this shit was leaving a grumpy. And he said,
"Can I get that on a t-shirt?"
Yeah, I left a grumpy. So now,
whenever like, someone knocks on the stall and be like, "Leaving a grumpy."
I got the grumpies.
Get the grumpy guts.
Grumpy guts.
So she's part of the Mean Girls clan. It seems like.
But she's coming back. Like she's starting to act in movies and stuff again.
Is she? Because her role was way cut down.
Yeah, it was. But they're all like independent, like noir films from like France and stuff like that. So it's not
well,
like
you gotta start slow, right?
Yeah.
She never really started hard anyway. I mean, she was in Drive Angry.
I first noticed her in an episode of Criminal Minds.
Yeah,
she was in Pineapple Express. She played the high school
I'm
girlfriend.
like the only person in the world that did not like that movie.
It's all right.
I wasn't a fan of it either.
I was like, this movie is way overrated.
Yeah.
Wasn't she also in what's that movie where it's got Woody Harrelson and Zombieland? She's the girl that comes over and starts crying on.
The first one.
The first one, and then she turns into a zombie as
that was
he
a good performance,
like when he falls
right?
asleep. Yeah. Believable.
Yeah.
Just take what you know.
The shit's in the director's cut.
Yeah.
Leaving a grumpy.
So the next Avengers is like Jonah said, it's probably going to be retitled. That's due out 2026. Marvel they're going to give more control to their series showrunners, which that's good. The revamped Daredevil Born Again, which
should be solid.
A lot of it was shot, and they were like, nope, we're going to reshoot it all. And they did the same for Agatha, I believe.
Agatha was only a 1 week reshoot.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I'm not
too
looking
long.
forward to that one.
I don't know. I mean, I think her introduction was great, but then their backstory just felt kind of rushed
but I
and not interesting. I don't know. I like WandaVision's still one of the highest. I liked,
was great,
enjoyed.
and I think she was a good villain for it.
Yeah.
But
just
I
not
got enough
series.
of her from that. I don't need a spin-off.
Yeah.
Again, like most of these shows could just be like a movie. And I think we'd be fine. They've
got so many better. She's not even a tertiary character. Like she's like fifth or sixth down.
Well, the stories just haven't warranted a series. None of them have
in the well that they can pull from. Like, give me a fucking Sleepwalker and a Deathlock, and there's so many other things they could be doing. Give me a new Warriors with Night Thrasher,
right? And
hire Michael Jai White to play Night Thrasher.
See, it's so down the line of like actual characters. It's just. And a lot, they have to remember a lot of these people that are going to these Marvel movies only know the big name character draws. I mean, Iron Man was kind of a fluke. That was not a main draw character guy, and
there's no pressure probably to
there wasn't, and
there wasn't, and it didn't have an insanely high budget.
Right.
Nope.
And really, it was carried completely on the back of RDJ. Like
100%.
Favreau, there wasn't even a script.
Now people are not going even to see Iron Man. They're going to see Robert Downey Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I hate that he said that he lost his passion for acting. I mean, I thought he did a great job in
I don't think he phoned it in necessarily, but I get kind of he became a product basically.
He became Iron Man though. He became Tony Stark.
That too, yeah. I think he just I think Oppenheimer got him kind of out of that is this all I am?
Yeah.
Because he did try other projects that didn't really work.
And I think it was good that he's getting the recognition for the role in Oppenheimer to sort of to give him that validation.
Yes.
Well, it's odd that him and Ruffalo. Yeah, him and Ruffalo are both getting critical acclaim for their acting outside of the Marvel films, which is great. Actually, Mark Ruffalo said it pretty best. He said ever since Disney Plus takeover, it's taken the mystique out of the MCU. You know, like it used to be like up until Endgame, you know, this was like serious shit, you know, like it was good. And then you had all these series come along and they just kind of just didn't stick the landing. None of them did. And they made things
like when you try
worse.
to push something out too hard.
Yeah, well, that's
too
the
fast.
problem. Yeah, they had Disney Plus opening. They needed subs and they needed product.
It becomes oversaturated.
Right, exactly.
I went through it. I was on superhero fatigue for a long time where I didn't want to. And then I had to get caught up and binged a bunch of shit and it fucking wore me out all over again.
Right. I know. So, too much is too much. Yeah. And of course, Blade's kind of on the back burner now. It's been through so much shit. They're still doing it, but I think they're pulling back on how much they're doing, how many films are releasing each year. Ironheart has been filmed as a series. Not sure when that's coming out, but basically all this Hollywood strike.
I like what they're doing though. They're only releasing like maybe 2 movies a year now for Disney, and then they're also scaling back on the amount of like series that they're releasing to maybe 1 or 2 a year, which I think that is reasonable.
Yeah, they went too heavy, and of course they acquired Fox after all that, you know. So,
and I think to their credit though, now Disney owns Fox stuff, so I think what's going to save them is Deadpool 3, and I think that X-Men will bring them back out because their fans are craving for something familiar. X-Men is going to be it. Deadpool will be it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I think their biggest challenge for Marvel Studios is going to be Fantastic Four.
Yes.
They got a good cast for
which
Fantastic
we're getting
to.
I know, I don't know if that's a segue, but...
No, actually the segue is Deadpool and Wolverine. We can talk about that first.
Let's do it.
What'd you guys think of this trailer?
I think it looks fantastic.
Solid.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four?
I think that... I don't know if the whole... timeline bullshit's gonna like turn off your average viewer,
especially if you haven't seen Loki, right?
Or if you saw Loki and had no fucking idea what was going on at the end of it.
But they might be able to they're going to bring him up to speed, so maybe in a way that's bringing everyone with exposition. Maybe. Like this is what Loki. Yeah,
but I think out of all the series though, Loki did the best as far as like viewership and people really liking it. So I don't think it's going to be too hard to pull people into the TVA.
Yeah, I
don't think that's going to be tough.
I do know.
But
second season did trail off.
I think
though.
I think though, even like your average movie going audience is still a little bit different than your Disney Plus Marvel TV series.
True.
They might not have the series.
Like, there's going to be people who are going to
streaming.
watch Deadpool because they saw the first one and enjoyed it, or they love Ryan Reynolds, or you know, they remember when Hugh Jackman played Wolverine 25 years ago, or almost.
I mean, really, right now, what we're looking at is people are pieing for Wolverine to get into Deadpool. The last big one is going to be Spider-Man. Do we get Toby? Do we get the, and that's the other question is I think we're going to get a lot of scenes in that show or in the movie that people have been pieing for a long time.
I don't know if we need any of the Spider-Man because of, was it No Way Home? What that was called? We already got that. So I don't even know if you have to touch upon that again. I don't know. I don't know if they'll, because I feel like there's so many characters they can bring back. It's like they're probably going to be cautious and careful about, they want to bring back people who you haven't seen for a long time, especially from the Fox properties. Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll have Spider-Man, but I don't feel like they need to,
You said it like it was his last name.
Spider-Man?
They'll have a Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Toby Spider-Man.
Toby Spider-Man. Toby, whatever your name is, Spider-Man.
Toby Spider-Man, you got a call online too?
Breaking down the trailer, of course, we got Wade wearing a wig, which was like, okay, didn't expect that.
I love when they rip it off.
Yeah, and he clearly stapled it, right? Yeah. I didn't notice the staples at first. I thought it was like glue and it just had chunks of hair, but this breakdown I watched showed that. And we have a birthday party. Some of the X-Forces there. Some people are saying Brad Pitt may be there. You just don't see him, right? Because, I guess he did go back and change everything so they lived, from the last film.
Is it Peter that was the guy that was just off
Mustache?
the street?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's his name, right? Peter?
I thought it was. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Is it Peter? Yeah.
Yeah. I got to revisit those films. I haven't seen them for a while.
What do you call him? Like Pookie Bear or something like that?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vanessa, she's back, of course.
Thank God.
Seems like the relationship is troubled. There's some scenes, and then of course she, it could be something small, but she's like Make-A-Wish buddy. It just wasn't really like romantic. It was because kind of like I'm just here. Because there is a scene where she turns away and he's kind of acting like he's happy, but clearly something is wrong. I mean, I think it's just proven like you can't always get what you want, even when you go back and change things. Like,
yeah, and
there is the cancer thing too, right?
Be like crazy speculation.
It could be, yeah.
It is. I mean, we're taking a line out of the movie out of context, and I think.
But there's other scenes that kind of warrant.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I've heard is that you can't stop the progression of death, and so
she's gonna die worse than she did before. Like they talked about the cancer. Why? That's why he wears a wig, because she's wearing a wig potentially.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all speculation, but yeah, that's what this breakdown did show. But
yeah, a blood transfusion and give her some of that Wade Wilson power.
That's all it would take.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Is there a female Deadpool?
Yes, there will be. And
that's how She-Hulk got her powers in the comics.
Yeah, that's right.
Blood transfusion from Bruce.
Right. Which in the She-Hulk show, he just got on her or something, right?
Yeah, like fell into her open wound.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah.
Oh, kind of like fentanyl.
Yeah.
She got a fentanyl dose.
like we were talking, the TVA make an entrance, and there's some
Tom Wambsgans.
Huh?
Tom Wambsgans.
Oh, the dude that's interrogating him, sort of, or whatever. Yeah, there's some lines where they show their sticks, and he's saying pegging isn't new to me, but it is for Disney, and he does that little
breaks the fourth wall. Yeah,
that was pretty good. Yeah, I guess his character, the guy from Succession, he said he's Paradox.
Okay. Yeah, and he's from the comics.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's not really a brand new character, but yeah. He said you seem to have soiled yourself while you were unconscious. And he's like, I wasn't unconscious. You guys. Yeah, this breakdown points out like Wade doesn't look like he's a prisoner. Like,
no, they like need his help.
Yeah, like they're showing him archives, and you see the Avengers on the screen, and he's saluting them, and he says he's Marvel Jesus.
It almost seems like a different wing of the TVA, though.
Yeah, I think this like breakdown did talk about that too, like how the lighting's different and such, and maybe in a way it's a paradox of the TVA from all the time variants and so on.
That's very meta.
Yeah.
My question is will we see Loki? Because now he's the holder of time.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going
That's the other thing too, is does this take place before or after all of that?
That's a good question.
There'll probably just be a few quips mentioned about it, and they'll just move on. You like to think that they'll move on quickly because there's really probably not too much time. I don't recall how long the other Deadpool movies were.
As far as like the length runtime?
Right, like how much time we got here,
Because remember Mobius...
2 hours maybe.
Mobius was supposed to be in this Deadpool movie, and then all of a sudden, no, he's not anymore. And then we find out why. It's because he's spending time with his family.
Oh, who was Mobius again?
Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like maybe some of the script was
the Loki stuff. Yeah, I was thinking Deadpool.
Because he would be the one person that we'd know from the TVA, and he was supposed to be in Deadpool,
right?
Or I can't remember the character's name. One played by
Sylvie.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I can see her maybe bouncing in.
I'm thinking of the guy. Fuck, never mind.
Oh, you're good.
That's right.
The kid from Goonies.
Oh.
I can't remember the character's name.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember the actor's name. Ken?
Yeah, and that's the other problem is that there's a new guy in that spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like that's the whole reason for.
I bet it's a different wing or something. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. How you could easily explain it and move on. But there's a wasteland of realities. Basically, he's in a Mad Max type of setting. You got Red Skull's hot rod that's been changed a little bit from Captain America. There's a cupcake truck from Moon Knight. Yep. I don't know if you recognize that. Silver Car, which is actually out of the comics. It had a 4 on the front of it. Fantastic Four.
The Fantastic Car?
Yeah. So it was like, not the one from the Tim Story one, the Silver Surfer, which was kind of cool. I had a Hemi, remember? I had a Hemi.
No.
You don't remember that
we
one?
Need the Thanos chopper back in there again.
Oh, yeah, right.
That was iconic.
What about the Spider-Man dune buggy?
Maybe. But the coolest thing is they had the 20th Century Fox logo, and it's like, it's all destroyed and it's kind of in the ground. Pyro, we see. There's like, it looks like Evil Charles, but it's probably not. There's some dude in a wheelchair, looks like, or they actually said it could be Cassandra Nova.
That's who I'm hearing.
Which that's nuts. Yeah.
Who was what? Charles's sister?
Twin sister. They actually battled it out in the womb, and he won.
She's a Grant Morrison character. So she's fucking out there. At least I know she's in. I don't know if he created her, but I know she played a role in his run.
Right.
She's out there,
which is always confusing to me because I thought that. Well, at least in X-Men, the Fox version, Charles's twin, he like absorbed his power and he was like always in a vegetative state.
Oh.
Remember? And then until he dies in the third movie, Xavier does, and then he comes back into the body of his twin brother. Yeah. But then it's never fully explained how all of a sudden Charles becomes Charles again.
I think in that world...
I don't remember any of that.
Well, that's the problem with the whole X-Men, though. Like, it lost its, like... got rebooted somehow
after Singer left to go do Superman Returns.
Yeah.
And they brought in,
which was 3. He didn't do 3.
Yeah, they brought in the guy from fucking Rush Hour.
Yeah, Brett Ratner,
which was a mistake.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, like
that movie sucked. There was
really no.
Kelsey Grammer was the best part of that movie, probably.
Whatever continuity they tried to keep, like, kind of went out, and even like characterizations went out the window.
Yeah,
they killed Cyclops off in the most unceremonious.
They didn't even need to kill him off. Possible. There was no reason for it.
Well, it's just not as it's like a terrible flaw in his character. Like, he loses his girlfriend, but didn't he lose a shit ton of love interest in the comics? And
I just hope
he still maintained being a leader.
He's always been kind of a piece of shit when it came to love interest in the comics. I mean, like, he loved Jean Grey, and then Madeline Pryor, and Jean Grey comes back. And, I mean, he's always been kind of a piece of shit that way.
But they need to make him look more like a leader, though, because every time that you've seen him in the movies, he's always been just kind of...
He's a background character.
Yeah. Like, he's not the leader of X-Men.
That's the problem with Hugh Jackman. He took over. I mean, he was great, and Wolverine was cool,
he should have been the lead in X-Men.
Yeah.
And he
always
had
was.
Patrick Stewart, and you had Hugh Jackman, and even the True Blood girl.
Yep.
He got sidelined by all of these characters that had more to do.
Yeah.
So if they redo, which they are going to do eventually, the X-Men, they definitely should bring it back to that and maybe make Wolverine more kind of like what he's supposed to be, more short, character. Right? And he's short and scrawny, or not scrawny, but he's just a short guy, and he's more animal.
He's like a Wolverine,
right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. Bring it back to
like
that.
CeeLo Green to come out on screen.
I do. But dressed like Wolverine, not like Chewbacca. Or wait, was he? Yeah, he was dressed like Chewbacca.
What?
When I first
CeeLo Green came out as Chewbacca.
When I first saw him in
when
concert,
he did that
they
show,
were doing the whole Star Wars thing.
Oh, that's right.
What?
Yep.
And he was in a Chewbacca costume.
Yeah.
Little CeeLo Green.
Yeah. Deadpool. There's a scene where he's sitting in a giant skull mouth. Looks like there's like big teeth around him. Wolverine in a tux from behind. Patch comic series. Which that's really cool. I didn't really know about that. I think I've seen a look before. Yeah.
It's a good look.
Yeah. And they this breakdown said the dealer's hidden, and it could be because it's Gambit, and it could even be the dude from Wolverine Origins. I don't know.
Oh no, I've heard it's supposed to be the guy.
The
guy that they never like.
Channing Tatum, actually. They were saying, which would be
the guy who they wanted to play Gambit. Yeah.
Channing Tatum would be, I think, great because, man, he was growing his hair long and he was really committed to it and was trying to get the accent down, and just it never went anywhere. Because he was at some of those Marvel appearances.
Do you think 21 Jump Street like killed that chance?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just the whole Fox thing, and MCU wasn't going to do Gambit or wanting to do Gambit. It just fell through for some reason. But he actually, I think, if I remember correctly, he saved Stan Lee from falling off a stage while they were making an appearance somewhere.
It's because Fox is not Sony. That's why they didn't do a Gambit movie.
Fair enough.
Because if it was Sony, they would have done fucking Gambit movie.
Yeah,
they would have done a Storm movie.
Right.
True.
Right. They also show Deadpool is eventually attacking the TVA, like killing people. They show the Void from Loki, the Purple Mist, and then of course Wolverine's shadow. We don't see the mask. But yeah, I guess next to Deadpool on the ground, besides the 20th Century Fox he fell against, that was pretty neat. And he's referring to Wolverine as an ape, that classic, end of Planet of the Apes, how, the Statue of Liberty, that's probably the new symbol,
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess laying next to him is the green liquid from the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton that Stanley drinks, and it's like infected with Banner's blood. And then there's a Secret Wars comic beneath it.
Which is why they're thinking Doctor Doom's going to be in Fantastic Four.
Oh, I don't know that you can do Fantastic Four without Doctor Doom.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But I don't think it would be doing the show justice if they had like 3 main Fantastic Four characters in there, like Silver Surfer, Galactus. I mean, that's a load. That's a load.
Well, a lot of people think they saw Doctor Doom and in this trailer, but that's Pyro, because I've seen clips back to back, and it's clearly Pyro. He just doesn't have a hood on. So yeah, this is of course directed by Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman. There's a whole bunch of people. July 26th. So this is really exciting.
No Domino, no Cable. That's a little disappointing.
Well, I don't know. They might come back, but I know Brolin trained really hard, and he's up there in age, so he's probably he's busy with. Well, actually, Dune 2 is coming out next week, I think, and maybe they'll be gearing up for the third. But yeah, it looks great. I'm
stoked.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
Valentine's, we all got a gift, us geeks, right? It wasn't chocolates. It was the cast announcement of Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited. Pedro Pascal, which we knew for a while. Vanessa Kirby, which was, when they were throwing that around, I was excited about.
What movies has she been in, though?
She was in the last few Mission Impossible films.
She was in Vikings, right? Is she the one?
Yeah. God, what else was she in? She's just one of those actresses I've seen. I don't recall exactly where, but I think she would make a great Sue Storm. Joseph Quinn, who was in last season of Stranger Things, breakout character.
Was he the guy that played the Metallica song?
Yeah.
Okay. The Russian guy.
Yep. Yeah. And then Evan Moss Barak. I don't know how you say his name, but he's from that cooking show. That's it's not a cooking show, but it's called The Beast, I think, or something.
Okay.
FX show. It's they're all chefs basically, and it's kind of like a comedy maybe, but it's kind of serious too.
Dramedy.
Dramedy, yeah. I think it's called The Beast or something. Yeah. So they released this announcement in the retro artwork that resembles the 60s. It's got Time Magazine is things looking at, and there's all kinds of other clues to that time period. Of course,
the only casting I'm not sold on is Pedro Pascal's.
After seeing the photo,
only one and I know,
is it because he's not comic book accurate?
No, because Reed Richards looks all over the place in the comic books. I mean, he can look like whoever the artist is, tracing, or whatever. And so it's not even that. I don't know. I got to get behind. I mean,
who would be your ideal?
That's the choice. I don't know if I have one.
Have they ever cast your ideal?
I think John Krasinski would have been a fine Mr. Fantastic, and he had that little bit part, kind of that fan service part.
At least you got that. That was kind of cool
in that Doctor Strange movie. But yeah, I don't know if I have a ideal candidate for it. I just don't know if I see it. And mostly it's, I got to be honest, like mostly it's his. To me, it's his voice,
his demeanor.
So I don't know. His
maybe
accents.
he'll go for a different dialect. I don't know. I dig the mustache. I know that because that's just him. He's like the modern day Burt Reynolds to me, kind of like he just has that. Ever since Kingsman, the second one he was in, I was like, he's like a current day Burt Reynolds. It's weird, but
but with not the weird Burt Reynolds quirks.
Well, yeah. Just like he could do Bandit. He could bring Smoking Bandit back, part 4. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. I
totally see him in like a remake of Death Wish, but we're gonna get that with Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah, but I think. What do you think about the 1960s potential? Like maybe it would start in the 60s, and maybe when they were in space,
like maybe they go up to space in the 60s, they get irradiated,
come back
cosmic radiation, they come back, and it's 2026 or whatever, and who knows?
It's getting tougher and tougher to have events that happen pre.
Did we ever
Marvel takeoff?
Did we ever find out who took over the Avengers headquarters?
Not really. I don't think it's.
Remember in that Spider-Man movie when Happy was moving out of the Avengers
Yeah,
Tower.
that was the first Tom Holland Spider-Man.
So, I mean, that could be the new Baxter building.
They said Wilson Fisk too, but yeah, I know they've talked about the Baxter building.
And so maybe they come back and they take over that building. I don't know. I mean,
that would be kind of cool.
Options are wide open with it because I think that this movie, like I said before, it's going to be the biggest hurdle, I think, for them because one, it's been done twice in the past 20 years. And it's not ever been done successfully. Like neither.
Do we even count the newest one though?
Well, the first Tim Story one I think did decently. It wasn't like a bomb because they had a sequel.
Right, it wasn't, but it wasn't a great movie.
Right now,
it wasn't like critically well.
Yeah,
it's a popcorn movie. It's a movie you put on Sunday or Saturday morning when you're not like. You're doing chores.
It was a lesser of the X-Men, but it kind of had that, feel a little bit.
And the last one, I know they want to forget that it exists.
I don't.
It exists.
It actually,
it's a good movie, but it's just that had so many problems.
Right. It had a lot of behind the scenes tinkering, but what I liked about it is when they got their powers, it was so much more cinematic to me versus the Tim Story one where they just casually go up to space, because I've always pictured like an Apollo 13 like launch into space.
Well, and maybe something that's what they're doing.
I hope so. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're in the 60s. It's perfect. It's a perfect setting.
You could totally do an origin thing where 3/4 of your movie takes place in the 60s.
Right. Right. And they're talking like he was like a mentor to Hank Pym. Like that's really great. Building up.
Because I think that was the really smart thing they did with Captain America. The first Captain America movie is they set it back in the 40s.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not until the very last scene that he's in, in modern day times.
Yeah.
I think that was really smart. And they maybe could do something similar with Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I'm really sad that they didn't do like a little mini series though with Captain's cohorts. Like Dum Dum Dugan and all those guys.
Well, he did make an, he did make
like that was
he did make an appearance in Peggy Carter's series. But yeah, I get you. I wanted to see more of them too. And then what sucks is they did another flashback in Peggy Carter's series, or Agent Carter. I'm sorry. And they recasted some of those guys because they're working actors, so they're not going to be available all the time. But yeah, the dude who played Dum Dum Dugan, is that his name?
Yeah, Dum Dum Dugan.
Yeah, I love that hat. I always wanted to get that replica hat made. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I like the looks of their costumes. I think I don't know how true this is going to be to the final product, but I like the looks of everything. There's like a robot thing. I'm not familiar with the comics. You are
in Fantastic Four?
Yeah, there's like this little robot.
Herbie.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Remember that when the Fantastic Four cartoon from the 70s, they couldn't use the Human Torch because he was in Super Friends?
Yeah.
So they had fucking Herbie the robot. I hope it's not Herbie.
Herbie is going to be in it though.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Although hopefully they'll. I mean,
he's like my Snark or whatever that fucking character was.
He looks like Wall-E from Pixar.
There's so much writing on this though. Like I feel like if they fuck this up,
I think there's a lot more writing on this than there has been before.
Right.
Why has Fantastic Four been so hard to write though, and get the right cast and produce?
Well, Corman had the rights, and they just made the film to keep the rights back in the 90s. And then the Tim Story came at probably the very closest, I guess, in a way.
Wasn't Lauren Fishburne the guy who voiced Silver Surfer though?
Yeah. What sucks is Doug Jones, who is like he's worked for
the Cap guy.
Yeah. He was going to be the voice, and then like in post, they're like, "I'll change it to Lawrence Fishburne." He doesn't have a bad voice. He actually had his regular voice or his real voice in Hellboy 2 because he played Abe Sapien. David Hyde Pierce played him in the first one, which was like kind of a cool. I thought it was cool casting, but I get it. It's like you do the work. It should be your voice, unless it's a goofy ass voice. But it's not a bad voice. So
Vader was certainly, if you would have heard.
I know. Yeah. That's funny.
Very high pitched German voice.
Right. Now they got Eric.
Luke, I am your father.
Too close to World War II, and they had to change it to James Earl Jones.
Now they're still working on the script. Eric Pearson's been hired. He's done Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of nervous about that, but
as far as who, the director or the?
No, he's refining the script for the project.
Gotcha. So. Refining.
Yeah, well, I think it's been through many stages.
That's one of the difficult things with even writing the Fantastic Four is Reed Richards is like the smartest guy in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you don't have a writer who is as smart as or even close to, or can write as close to as smart as the smartest guy's supposed to be, it's going to come off. because that's one of the issues I have with comic book with the Fantastic Four comic books is if you get a comic book writer in there who's, I'm not saying they have to be like super intelligent, but if they cannot write somebody as intelligent as that, it comes across as like disingenuous, and flat, and
right.
It starts to detract from the character.
Right, right. Yeah, I know. It's. I hope they got to do it right. I hope they the pressure. X-Men too. They got the rights now. It's like you got to deliver the goods. Like this promo image, it reminds me kind of in a way Iron Man. Yeah. Like it feels like they're going back to that.
X-Men's just going to be an easier sell for them.
Yeah, of course.
I think to the mass audience, to the general audience than Fantastic Four is.
Mr. Fantastic is a guy who played from House.
Oh, Hugh Lowry?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's a little old.
He's a little old now, but that would have been
fantastic.
Yeah.
If he was like back like Stuart Little days when because he played the dad in Stuart Little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he would have been a really good Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, the big question is Dr. Doom. Who's going to play that?
I think that's a harder cast than even Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I've heard rumor mill say that the guy who was in Indiana Jones as a bad guy.
The latest one?
Yeah.
I don't remember who that is.
He Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The guy from Hannibal?
Yeah.
Yes.
The TV show.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Also, the other dude who played...
He was also in Casino Royale.
Yep.
Yeah.
The bleeding eyeball guy.
Yeah.
The other...
I assure you, it's nothing.
Yeah, I assure you, this only skeeves me out.
Right. God, he was a great villain. He was good.
I'd been like gagging at the table. I'd be like, huh?
What a weird tick, just random blood comes out your eyeball.
Right.
This is your tell when you're bluffing.
Right.
Your eyeballs bleed.
Yeah.
What's his name? I assure
you, nothing sinister.
He was in Secret Invasion and Captain Marvel. Who's that actor?
You're talking about Ben Mendelsohn?
Yes, he said he would love to play Dr. Doom.
I love Ben Mendelsohn.
Right.
You guys ever see The Outsider?
No.
HBO?
No.
You gotta watch.
Is that a new show or
it's
old?
A couple years old. It's based on a Stephen King book.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's a fucking good show.
Nice.
Ben Mendelsohn is really good in it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. First time I came aware of him was Dark Knight Rises when he played that squirmy dude taking Wayne's fortune. Yeah,
we're this close.
Yes,
and he's also in
Bane crushes his head.
He was in another TV show with was it Chandler? Oh, I can't remember the actor's name. Chandler something, or Chandler's his last name.
Okay.
Riggs? It's called Blood Tide. I think.
It sounds a little familiar.
Really good in that too.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mendelsohn's solid.
Mendelsohn would be great, but he's a Kree.
Well, they could at least
Scroll.
They could do the voice at least, because I think they said Dr. Doom. Maybe Dr. Doom shouldn't be a face, because it's like they're going to want to take him out of that.
You don't ever see Dr. Doom's face in the comics,
right? And of course, the Tim Story films.
There's no origin story or anything.
Well, Tim Story had an origin for him. He was part of the team.
The guy from Nip Tuck.
Yeah,
which I think it was solid casting at the time.
At the time, yeah.
And there was one scene where they were trying an accent, and it's so weird because he talks like he usually talks. Well, he's Australian. He was talking English, and there's like one scene where he phrases it like a deal needing to be closed, and he phrases it a different way. Like it almost felt like it was a try at a different accent.
So if we're doing that, let's say we're doing like the Darth Vader thing. You got the guy in the suit, and then you got the voice actor.
Yeah, I think that's what you're going to need to do.
In that case, give me like a Sam Neill. Even using his regular accent, his like news, because it's kind of this muddled New Zealand American accent at this point.
Yep.
Like, just give me some. I think that would even work for a Dr.
Sam Neill from Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
that dude's got stage 4 cancer. They need, and I'm not saying that in the negative way,
no,
but
I get
they
you.
need. If they're going to have him in stuff,
longevity.
They're going to need.
I said that before I knew he had stage 4 cancer.
No, you're fine. It would be a good idea. It would be.
Yeah. No, it would. No. I mean, that is good casting. Yeah. I think you do need a body and a voice separate. Like, they did.
It does not have to be one and the same.
Right. Yes. It's just like...
And I'm telling you right now, the voice is way more important than the body.
Yeah, of course.
He's like all armored up anyway.
Yep. Yep.
So you get somebody who's like fucking big.
And you want to keep him in that armor. You don't want to cheat and like, hey,
the voice
has
to be scary.
Yeah.
And so you need an actor too who's going to be okay with that and not go the whole. And that's one of the things. That was one of the issues I had with Pedro Pascal.
Right.
Like, oh,
it's like Sweet Tooth and Twisted Metal they just did. Will Arnett did the voice, and they had this wrestler guy do the body, and I think that's perfect. Yeah. Because, you're going to have that temptation like they did in Tim Story's films where the first one was warranted because it was an origin, but the second one, he somehow got transformed out of his disfigurement.
It kind of went with his vanity, right? Where he was like super vain and he gets super disfigured. And that kind of went with like his character.
Right.
And I think that might even be a little bit from like the comic books, but I think you can still do that without.
But is there even takes on Doctor Doom that he's not even disfigured? He just wears the mask. I mean,
possibly, I don't know.
It's probably just another go at it. Yeah, but he's got his own country. Like they should really get into that. Like, what is this country called?
Latveria.
Okay. Yep.
I want to say Latvia, but that's an actual country.
It's over in like the same area though.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's probably the biggest. I mean, maybe they already have it cast. I don't know. I don't know if there's any clues as to who would, or if he's even part of this.
He might not even be part of it.
Right.
So. Yeah. The Fantastic Four they've spent a lot of time out in space, just like fucking around out there.
Right.
Well, and
like after their powers or before? After. Yeah.
And then we still have the Eternal Head and Hand that's coming out of the ocean,
which they haven't addressed. So that's there's a lot of holes in the plotting now with Marvel. That's the other thing they have to overcome. Like, are you going to accept the Internals or not? Like.
I think you could accept it, but not have to acknowledge it much.
Plus, they see the one god come and like show his face to the whole earth, and which holy fuck, that would just. I think I'm just gonna.
I'd be like, well, no more mushrooms for me.
Yeah. Oh my god. Think of yourself tripping, and then
I'm taking my money out, and I'm just gonna go have fun.
You were like,
oh god, instant shit, instant
Mr.
Grumpies.
Grumpy. Yeah.
Yep. Trail of Grumpies. Yeah.
Trail of Grumpies, is that what you said? Yeah. A Trail of Grumpies.
It's a poem.
Next time your dog poops inside the house, just say, "Oh, Grumpy."
Oh.
Her friend groups names her shit. That's kind of weird. Yeah. Anyway, this was filmed in the summer in London, so very cool. And we're supposed to get it summer 2025. So
that seems really quick.
That seems incredibly quick.
Well,
considering we just got the cast,
it could get pushed out. Yeah. I mean, look at Blade and everything else. I mean,
you get the cast depending on how quickly you say it's supposed to start filming when in
summertime. Yep.
So you got
London
3 or 4 month. Shoot.
Yeah, I always forget that it literally when they're filming something, it takes about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah,
post too. You got effects work.
And then you got the post.
Yeah,
and then you do you do a little bit of editing. You get your fucking Super Bowl trailer out there.
Yep,
and then you finish your editing, and then I'm sure there's no doubt it's going to be reshoots because it's Marvel.
Oh yeah,
and then
which is I think what COVID
I still think hurt. Summer of 25 is pushing it.
That's aggressive.
COVID hurt a lot of those projects though because they had to keep them on shelves, and it's like the creators like, oh, we could just tinker with a little bit. We got time, and
Yeah, but it also the nice thing about COVID is that it also gave them a moment to sit back and review what's all been done and say, okay, is this working? Is it not working? Yeah. And they have done that to the
goods and bads. But it's like if you get something, it's like if you complete a project and it's like the longer you wait to release it, it's like there's a temptation there, especially with Hollywood.
This is why I wait till the last minute to complete any project.
Right, exactly.
Day of.
Best work comes out of the rush work.
Right. No, then I know I can't fuck with it.
The Grumpies 2026. Avengers the Grumpies. X-Men 97, guys.
Oh.
We've been looking forward to this for a while. This was announced a couple years back, I think, right? Yep. Coming. What'd you guys think of the trailer?
Loved it.
It took me back to 1997.
Yeah, I got goosebumps when I heard the theme song.
Yeah.
That's my ringtone on my phone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Nice. I didn't follow it through. Did the animation get worse as it went along, like the Turtles did?
I think the animation stayed pretty consistent.
Did it? Okay.
Because I think that animation stayed consistent, and then they cut corners with all the other Marvel shows at the time, like
Spider-Man,
Silver Surfer, Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Not even Spider-Man, but
Spider-Man was pretty up there.
Iron Man. I think they cut corners with all that other animation.
Hulk,
but
they did
the
Hulk.
X-Men animation, to the best of my recollection, remained pretty consistent.
I only followed it from the beginning, like the first season or so, and I was, I really loved it, and I had the, my friend had the Sega Genesis game, which I still want to get.
Yeah.
But
Did that follow the arcade game format?
Yes, I think so. Yep, pretty much. Yep.
Arcade game.
Yeah. how I got introduced was, I think maybe that game first, and then Pizza had that great campaign where they give you the tapes. I still have the tapes, so sure they look
It was cool because they did all kinds of like, they really did not shy away from any of the storylines, whether it was Brood, Warlocks, Days of Future Past. They did all of it in that cartoon series, pretty much, which was cool.
Yeah, it was great, and that's how I got into it.
And it was a lot more concise than a lot of the Claremont comics at the time.
Well, and what I liked about the X-Men series, and like we were talking about before we started the show, it was during the time that Marvel was near bankruptcy, so they had crossovers like Spider-Man, and I think Iron Man even made it in.
Possibly. Yeah. I didn't follow it later on. I just the beginning, and it was in the back of my mind, like, good shit, but it's like there was too much
I know
other stuff.
Beast appeared in the Spider-Man episodes, the Mutant Factor, and then Spider-Man appeared in theirs.
Yeah.
Overall the show was really well done.
Yeah.
In terms of like 90s cartoons.
Yeah.
Even in terms of cartoons today.
Yeah.
Right.
It holds up, I think.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for this because...
And it was a lot like Batman, where the series like followed episode to episode, so it wasn't like a new thought every single time. It had
even like
repercussions.
There was even a lot more continuity in this in X-Men than there was even in Batman. Because Batman didn't really follow any type of continuity. Like Robin was there sometimes, and other times he wasn't.
Like they would go back to what was mentioned before, but it wasn't like true sequel. But X-Men,
X-Men X-Men would call back to things that happened. Like the first season, like when Wolverine, encounters Sabretooth the second time, they call back to when he's first seen, early on, and stuff like that. And then, the same with like, when Warren Worthington becomes Archangel, they call back to that too. So
yeah, and I started Saturday morning. I was just looking for something to watch, and X-Men is on Disney Plus. Not the 97 yet, obviously, but I was watching. I was like, it's very tight. Like every episode's like right where they left off, and they do recaps.
Yeah. The other thing too I like about it, because I've been watching the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon from the same time period.
Yep,
and it's so fucking kinetic.
Yeah,
where it just like starts and there's like no breathing room.
Yeah,
like
I kind of felt that
X-Men has a much better pace.
Yes,
in terms of like the story beats.
Right,
it's not as frantic.
At first, the new animation with the 97 looked a little more. I don't know, not as great. But then watching the original, rather, while it was great then, but now I appreciate the new visuals. Like
it looks like it's more like digital backgrounds.
Yes.
The new one.
Yeah. Which is great. There's like a lot of 3D.
They did that with the Spider-Man one. They did like a lot of the CGI backgrounds.
Yep.
Well, they wanted to do 3D because at the credits of X-Men, they would do the 3D characters, which was like, whoa, that's crazy. Why they're doing that? But it was neat. It was like
as long as we get a previously on X-Men from Cyclops,
that would be
the
cool.
First episode,
or the dude from Ant-Man.
Oh,
animated guy from Ant-Man.
No, I just need to hear previously on X-Men.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. See, I didn't even know Charles died, but I did.
My favorite Cyclops line from that cartoon series is when I can't remember if it's Apocalypse or Mr. Sinister, but one of them is like just talking some bullshit, and Cyclops like hits him with his optic blast. He's like, "We beg to differ."
The breakdown I watched, they were talking about, of course, this aired on Fox back in the day. Now Disney Plus. That Charles died, but I guess they took out the part where he actually, an alien came, Shear or something? Shiar came, and they went to space. But this show looks like...
Because Cyclops' dad's a space pirate.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that who came and got him then? That's the dude? So. Okay. So yeah, a lot of people have talked about like how it didn't quite end like that, but this series acts like that's how it ended.
Yeah,
like he just died. So I don't know if it's a little retooling
like
or
Roseanne, where like everything after that was a dream.
Right. Yeah. Right. Jean Grey, she's pregnant. I guess they said in the comics, this there was a character who was a clone of her, right?
Madeline Pryor,
right?
Was a clone of the Goblin Queen.
Okay,
the Goblin Queen,
right?
Excuse me.
So they're like. Because I don't know if that was brought up in the last series or not.
If you think about their continuity too much, your ears will start to bleed.
Right. Now, did they
Wasn't Cable?
Cable's the son.
Yeah.
But
they had more than one son.
Nathan Dayspring.
Yeah.
Is Cable. Because I think Nate Gray is their son too from an alternate future.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And he's a character just called X-Man, because that's the fucking 90s for you.
Yeah, they just run out of titles.
Yeah, and then it'll be interesting to see, because Bishop's in this, what we saw, and he was only kind of in that one Days of Future Past storyline.
Yeah, extremely small.
So it'll be really interesting to see if he how they bring him back.
Right.
I wonder what they're going to do with Morph, though. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on Morph?
Well, because they thought that he died, but he had survived. And
Right.
it was Mr. Sinister that found him.
Which I can't wait, because I guess that's going to be the main villain in 97.
Which, he's my favorite of the villains, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Other than Magneto. Magneto was always
Yeah, there's a shot of Morph, I think, in X-Men
But I cannot
attire.
remember what happened to Morph after... I think did he just kind of go off on his own?
He did, yeah. But I mean, the retooling of the character now, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Oh, because he's got a new look.
Yeah.
And they said he's like non-binary or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, I mean...
When you're a shapeshifter, you can be whatever you want.
Right. So
That's
that kind of
true.
makes sense. I don't know, because when I watched this breakdown, they actually showed... And you could see it in the trailer... I know I've seen that bald dude and stuff.
Yeah.
That's him. But I've also seen the other look. So I don't know what's going on.
I don't remember the bald look. The bald look, I think what caught me off when I saw the bald look, it looked more to me like Chameleon, the Spider-Man villain, than Morph.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just misunderstanding. I don't know. I'm not sure, unless he just decides to change his look. I don't know. He's like, I'm tired with hair, Give it to me. Magneto was shown, of course. He's rocking some long hair. Everything he built, he's referring to Charles, belongs to me. There's a sense that Charles left Magneto the estate and all that. Yeah. So
Will we finally hear the word mutant?
Well, we always did in the cartoon, right?
We
It
did,
just
but
wasn't
that would be
in
the first time that we'd ever hear it
Well, no.
outside of Miss Marvel.
Oh, well, I think this is like that. This is the Fox timeline.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not MCU related.
No,
I
but
guess.
it's Marvel
its own
Studios. It's Marvel Animation now, so technically it is within the universe of.
thing. Yeah, I mean they
They'll say
can
mutant.
they can say mutant
Yeah.
now. They didn't. Yeah. They have the rights to say that, but you have to say that in the X-Men, you'd think, right? But,
Right, because that was the whole war.
Yeah. Maybe they'll overkill the mutant. They'll just mention every sentence.
Mutants. They call them.
We got the Daily Bugle making an appearance. There's a mutant fashion show on the cover, I guess. Sentinels are back. They look the same.
Oh, so glad about that.
That's really
We
cool.
were missing that.
A character I'm not familiar with, the Executioner you were talking about.
Executioner.
Yeah, kills mutants.
Former
with their...
FBI agent, hunts down mutants.
Yeah.
Uses the weaponry of his victims, kind of thing.
Nice.
He's got a fucking cool look, and
Yeah.
I hope. I never saw the character in the comic book, but I had his Toy Biz action figure.
Nice.
And he had a spinny hand,
Oh, cool.
and he had like different like weapons you could put in his hand, like clubs
Nice.
and shit.
Oh,
Right.
sweet.
Yeah,
Awesome.
he looked cool. He had
Yeah.
like, kind of like almost like a bird mask.
Oh, cool.
Oh, sweet. Gambit, of course. There's that great scene of him and Wolverine. He
Where
like
he charges up the claws.
Oh, dude, that was so
That
cool.
was cool.
Yeah, that was a great scene. I think that was the one I was like, yes. Nitpick. I didn't like Wolverine's line, but it's just out of context, I'm sure. But a lot of people are like, it doesn't sound like Wolverine, but it's the same actor who played him. So I don't know. It's just like a little nitpicking. But overall, I'm more excited about the animation style. It seemed like not as good as the original, but watching the original, it's so like the frame rate is also, or not the frame rate, but the framing itself is boxed. It's not widescreen.
Yeah.
And
Was it not 16 by 9?
no, it's not. I don't think it
4x3?
is. Yeah, it might be that. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of got some hesitation. I can't explain what the animation's like, but it was kind of hard to watch going back. I don't know why, but
Yeah, I didn't have that problem.
yeah,
A little jumpy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're drawing, a few scenes jump.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, anyway, I'm okay with the animation now because I'm like, yeah, that's better to follow to me. But
It's no South Park animation, but whatever.
no.
No.
No. Yeah, like you said, we have Bishop, Morph, Cyclops, who says "My X-Men," which you think he's quoting Charles.
He's paraphrasing Charles
Yep.
Xavier.
Yeah.
Again, out of context, I was like, oh, I don't like that line. But then Charles, that flashback when Charles says,
Yeah.
my ex, I think that's what Cyclops is kind
Right.
of,
Yeah.
channeling.
Yep.
So I think I'll be okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm excited, man. March 20th. So that'll be your.
I mean, dude, that's coming up.
Before we
Yeah.
know it, yes. Before we go, any reviews or recommendations? I know we did list a few. You did see Argyle, correct?
Yes.
And you liked it.
I did. Yeah, it was actually really good.
Did you have like no hype to see it, or
I wanted to see it because I knew it was Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah.
And I like his style of movies.
Yeah.
And it didn't disappoint. It was good.
It was one of those where I was hyped to see it, and then I heard people just shitting on it.
Yeah,
and then
same.
Then I heard another, buddy who's kind of a fellow geek. He was like, "Oh no," he's like, "If you liked Kingsman, he's like, you'll like this one." I'm like, all right.
Nice.
Yep.
So
there's a lot of jokes that are similar to like in the Kingsman stuff like that. That kind of off the cuff throws you for a loop.
And I'm sure a lot of people don't care, but you said that it probably could be in the Kingsman world.
There's a possibility. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm okay for it. Yeah.
The other thing I would say, if you guys haven't seen, have you ever seen the show on FX Fargo?
Yeah.
I
the first
haven't.
couple seasons.
I haven't.
I saw the first
wanting
season.
to.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of funny scenes in the first season.
Yeah.
Though.
First season is more off the movie, right? Or is it something totally
Yeah,
different?
it's like a prequel almost to the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just
Kind
started
of runs
second
almost
season.
like consecutively.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's on Hulu?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, go watch it if you haven't
Yeah.
watched it. We're on season 5 now.
Cool.
So
I like it's like American Horror Story does the same thing where every season's something different.
Yeah, it's like a series of miniseries.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. So yeah, awesome. I saw the Marvels, of course. It's got great visuals, I guess, but yeah, it's not great.
that's a stellar review.
I don't know what else to say.
It's got great visuals.
It's got actors and actresses.
Yes. Yeah, it's a movie. Yeah, I understand why it went a certain way in the box office. The end credit scene's awesome. I'll say that. Do you guys care?
I know about it.
Okay.
So you can spoil
Go for
if you
it.
want.
It's basically, and it looks good.
It's just his voice, though, right?
Yeah, because it's CG'd.
Yeah,
They
okay.
CG'd Beast.
Oh yeah, I have
CGI
seen that.
And he
Yeah.
looks very
With
similar
Kelsey
to
Grammer.
the X-Men, or I guess the comic too.
Yeah. Which is interesting that, I think Kelsey Grammer was a really good choice, but I thought Nicholas Hoult was a really good Beast, too.
Yeah.
So if he's playing Lex Luthor, that's probably out.
Did you like the Hulk angle though of his Beast as they went along? Because it's another part we were talking about Doctor Doom where they want to see the actor.
Yeah.
That's kind of dumb, right? I mean,
Yeah, I would have preferred if it was just like always the blue guy.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah.
What else you watching? Anything else?
Oh gosh, just like true crime.
Did you watch? Oh fuck, what was it? Lover, Stalker, Killer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So my wife watched that. I haven't seen it yet, but she was like raving about it.
Yeah.
And it's like an Omaha, Nebraska, Iowa,
perfect.
Western Iowa type case, and
Yeah.
so it kind of hits a little close to home that way.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
But it
it's
sounds
awesome.
like people are fucking.
There's
crazy.
another one on Netflix too, and it's so good because it's 3 parts. And
American Nightmare.
yes,
Yeah,
God
it's
damn,
fantastic.
thank you. Yes.
It's funny, like
Oh my God.
so I remember that story. And here's what's funny is I remember the news, like the national news being like hoax kind of thing, and being like, yeah, this woman's fucking crazy, or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever remember seeing anything on what came next. And so that third episode, it's funny because like, was it the second episode? Like my wife and I were watching, we're like, she's a fucking liar.
Yeah.
She's a fucking psycho. And then like by the third episode, we're like, oh, we're so sorry. We're so sorry.
Because the first episode is he's lying.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like a movie out of a movie. What happened to them?
And
It's
what we were calling
crazy.
it, like
You
they
gotta see
compared it to
it.
Gone Girl because Gone Girl had come out the year before this happened.
Yes. Yep.
So I
Oh, wow.
remember it in the news, but not sort of the vindication aspect of it.
Right.
So there's a little bit, I guess there were some spoilers there, but if you
It's probably a
haven't
reason
watched
why
it-
though it went away because the authorities.
Oh, they totally fucked shit the
Yeah.
bed on that one. They
Yeah.
shat all the grumpies.
Right.
All the grumpies.
All the grumpies.
But yeah, so I did watch that one. That one was really good.
Nice.
I
Yes.
think what I'm watching.
Thank you.
We're watching Yellow Jackets right now.
I want to see that.
It's kind of bananas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you first season still?
I think we're in the second. I don't know.
Okay.
My wife will throw it on, and I'll just kind of like be kind of zoning.
It
in
looks
and out.
good. I want to see it.
It's pretty bananas.
It's gotten some awards, I think, of the cast.
I am currently binging the original MacGyver series.
Nice.
Much to my wife's dismay.
I think you said it last time too.
Nice.
Are you almost through it?
No,
or
I think I'm on season 3 or 4.
how many seasons does it run?
8, maybe.
Yeah, it had a good long run.
It had a
Okay.
good run.
Have you gotten to the one where he went back in time?
No.
Oh, that's the boat, right? With his grandfather?
No, this is the one where he goes back in medieval times and he like.
Oh, I
don't know, but I can't wait to get
with his Jeep.
There's one scene. Okay, I won't spoil anything because I don't remember anything but this one scene. So he's in like this medieval court jester, and he was like, he can do magic and all that stuff, and he was watching somebody like a wizard like make something float, and then he takes out his pocket knife and he goes tick, and it falls. And that's all I remember of that episode.
They were running out of ideas, weren't they?
Merlin was pissed.
Yeah. Oh, and I think it was Merlin, by the way.
Yeah.
But the one I remember is the boat one where they went back to his grandfather when he was like younger. That was a good one. That was.
See, I remember watching that show religiously, and I can't remember a single episode.
Murdoch, remember Murdoch? He scared the shit out of me.
Murdoch
always got burned up and came back.
Yep. fell off a cliff, came back.
Yep.
So he was like Deadpool's Hydra Bob.
He looked like Deadpool. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if the new MacGyver has a Murdoch or any of those.
I've not seen any of the new MacGyver.
Yeah, it went on for a while, so it must be but he has a team. It's a CBS show. They all have fucking teams.
You shouldn't have a team. It was always MacGyver
and his
on
boss,
MacGyver. Yeah,
and Jack.
MacGyver would have like some of those like returning characters, right?
Yeah,
like Jack Dalton.
Yeah,
sure. Back, yeah, and I always enjoyed him.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And then of course Pete, his best friend, Pete Thornton. Dana Elcar.
Yep.
And then there would be like this rotating cast of women that would come through. The one that like I thought was like it was like sadly ironic is like this woman's like confesses her love for him, and he's like, "No, let's just be friends," and then she like falls off a cliff and dies, and he's like all fucked up about it.
What?
Yeah. It's so ridiculous.
Like she just says okay, and then she just goes walking off a cliff.
She's like, "No, let's be friends," and then she's like, like crying as she's climbing, and she's like, falls.
Wow. Yeah,
that's where Murdoch comes back with the flamethrower and like torches the cabin.
Produce that. Produce MacGyver.
Who?
The original MacGyvers?
Yeah, Henry Winkler.
Yeah, I knew.
What?
That.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Makes sense for the leather jacket then of MacGyver.
Yep.
That hair, man.
And the mullet.
Oh God,
that was classic.
Give me that mullet, man. If I had hair, no.
I wonder if anyone goes like, if everybody's like, just one time, he'd be like, hey.
He did.
And Richard Dean Anderson's like, no.
You remember how the series always started? They were trying to get two wires to make a circuit or something like that. And then you see this big explosion when it finally lit.
I love MacGruber too.
Oh,
MacGruber.
I haven't seen that forever.
Yes.
Yeah. In the fucking like.
You owe me a fucking Blaupunkt.
The Blaupunkt.
He puts the whole team in the car with his
I'm getting
explosives. It's like I built him with my own hands and explosive. Oh my God, are you guys okay?
Tug, are you okay?
That's an underrated comedy.
He just keeps blowing away Val Kilmer when he's like down on the rocks. Just blows his dick off
dude.
or something.
So good.
I gotta see that again. I haven't seen it forever.
That's about all I'm watching.
Let me back in, man. I'll suck your dick.
I'll do whatever you want. Just tell me what you want me to do.
Oh God. Will Forte, man. He's awesome. Oh shit. Yeah, I can't think of what else I've seen. There is some reviews I want to get out there, so I will be working on that. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's the Marvels. Go do some laundry and turn the Marvels on. Pew pew pew.
I heard Carol Danvers
science
is like way more fit and like just
who's fit?
Miss Captain Marvel.
Oh, Brie Larson.
Yeah, like she really
look bored as fuck though.
Yeah.
When did
and I don't think she was happy behind the scenes because she was like,
she looks somewhat interested in King Kong.
Okay,
but I think
she's a photographer.
She had that Loki eye candy.
Yes.
Yeah. That's when you could
Who
tolerate
doesn't
her.
know with Tom Hiddleston? I mean,
I would oogle him.
Right?
She just had a switch that flipped, and it was like, oh my God, you're just terrible.
It's just like we want you to play somebody with power, and then her that meant to her is resting bitch face.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. She was on the ups, and now everyone's just like, I mean, it's just her look and demeanor. It's like, what happened? It was the Oscar?
You do one movie called The Room. And everything sucks.
Tommy was up.
Yeah, Tommy was
Was she in that?
We had to clarify that when we did our commentary.
Not The Room.
This is
Brie
not
Larson.
yeah.
This is not The Room with Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Underwear. Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh, hi. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
You're my favorite customer.
That might have been the last commentary we did, which we got to get on soon. We got Commando. Yeah.
Damn. Oh,
so
got to do Commando.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to find the time and do it. So we just got to do it. We'll just do it. Get some popcorn, some beers. I don't know.
The last time we did
that. Some grubbies.
It's like the second episode we've ever done.
What's that?
Or no, that was the first episode that we ever did.
Which one?
Of Field of Geeks, where we popped open a whole bunch of beers and we just started talking.
Oh, yeah. We're at your house. Yeah.
I like that format. Let's go back.
Really? Yeah.
Well, like every 6 minutes you hear crack.
Yeah. Nice thing about that.
Fuck, I love Brie Larson. So good. So good. She's so good in the marbles. I don't care what you say. Fuck you. Brie Larson's good.
Be a 2 hour.
I'm going to give you a grubby.
Yeah, she'll leave you a grumpy.
Oh God, that's the biggest takeaway, right?
Yeah, we should call it Field of Geeks 213 Mr. Grumpy.
Mr. Grumpy. The
Inside joke.
Leaving a grumpy.
Any plugs before we go? Anything?
No, I got nothing.
The Toys channels is still not happening?
No, not really.
No?
I mean, I can't say not really. No. There's stuff where I was like, oh, let's record this. And my son, he's now 14, and he's just like, you know?
Record that. No.
Yeah.
I think there's crimes against that.
Carol Danvers.
No, I mean just the gesture.
Oh, yeah.
Not the actual act. For crying out.
We were going to review this toy, but...
Yep.
Now the dude who was in the theater for Madam Web, that's a different story.
Yeah. And I've been traveling so much for work that I don't know when I'll I don't have time for any of that shit.
Just film like the littlest things, like look at these matches I got from this hotel.
I could, yeah.
Slide a fart. All right. Well, with that said, of course, we'll be back.
That's what you're going to end the show on?
No, we don't need
Slide
to.
a fart with matches.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
It's electrifying.
Oh my goodness. It's electric.
No. Of course, Field of Geeks. Check us out everywhere you stream, download your podcast, fieldofgeeks.com. And with that said now, I'm Josh.
I'm Mitch.
I'm Jonah.
Have a good one. Take care.